The Asia Pacific Foundation of Canada and Ananta here in India have partnered on the strategic dialogue, which brings together Indian and Canadian stakeholders to explore opportunities to move this relationship forward. But we firmly believe that there is a real opportunity, and it is in the interests of both India and Canada to find ways forward to be able to address the issues that have been challenging, to find accountability and justice for the cases that we've been hearing about for the last year and a half, but also to recognize that the relationship has a lot more depth to it through our academic exchanges, through our business exchanges, through our people-to-people ties, and that in a current really volatile environment, both countries would benefit from having a deeper relationship, a relationship that is of mutual benefit.
I am personally absolutely passionate about the India-Canada relationship, and I have full confidence and belief that there is tremendous potential for developing trade, investment, small and medium-sized business engagement, and startups, innovation, research, etc., between India and Canada. What we need to do is start positive messaging. We need to spread the word around about how important and how beneficial it is for partnerships between India and Canada. Canada has the resources, India has the requirement. Canada has the technology, India has the talent. And if we bring this all together, it will result in a very successful partnership which can benefit both the countries.
India-Canada relations have to move beyond the current roadblock that is facing the two sides, the political irritants, the political issues. I think it's time that we thought about the relationship in a more expansive manner. These are two countries that are keenly focused on, say, global governance, on multilateralism, the question of China, on the question of Indo-Pacific. In a Trumpian world, which is becoming more and more chaotic and anarchic, there have to be responsible stakeholders in the international system who can think about the global commons and the international system in a more responsible manner. I think India and Canada are clearly two good candidates in sort of navigating the complexities of the contemporary international order.
We have a very strong partnership going in terms of the geopolitical alignment, in terms of the business interests converging, in terms of the strong people-to-people links. And all conversations that we can have to strengthen this essential relationship is going to benefit us both. It benefits us in understanding each other, and it helps in progressing the vision of a long-term aligned India-Canada relationship.
For a whole range of reasons, the Canada-India relationship is one that we need to get right. It's got importance at a whole number of different levels. And I think what I find really fascinating about the conversation we've got going on here is that it's bringing together those different pieces in a way that I don't think we often reflect on. Very rarely do I find all those views being put together at one table. And I think that's what I've really enjoyed.
So the Canada and India relationship is foundational. Now we have an Indo-Pacific strategy out with all of the different risks that we find now, especially with the relationship with China. We need to be finding creative opportunities to engage with India. There's a host of different areas that we could be working with India on. Of course, we see this on critical minerals, on energy security, on agriculture, on education. We need to go back to the first principles and think about those key areas that we should be driving forward. Putting more of our equities, whether they're civil society, whether they're universities, whether they're government, in India, and showing a seriousness to that engagement will be really important.
It's incredibly important that higher education is represented. India and Canada have a very, very old strategic relationship, and certainly York University in the higher education sector has many, many relationships through talent, through collaboration, articulation agreements, through research partnership, community engagement between our countries. So we're very grateful to be part of this conversation.
Canada is actually one of India's more important partners. Most importantly, we have a people-to-people relationship with students, with immigration, with old histories. That is very deep. But as often happens with old history, there are a lot of complications, and it's a complex relationship. Most important, and I say this both from an official standpoint as well as from a personal standpoint, that nobody in India, not in government, not outside government, considers Canada to be an enemy. And that is, I think, a very big difference in how we approach Canada or how we think of Canada. It's very different from how we think of many other countries with whom we have challenging relationships.
It's been an instructive and useful experience listening to our Indian counterparts and interlocutors on the state of the relationship. What I've realized is that there's a lot of problems in the relationship, but I think with sufficient time, energy, and effort, there are enough ideas from both sides to move things forward.
Being here in India, albeit at a challenging time in Canada-India relations, it is a moment to again take stock, figure out what is Canada's place in the world, who are they in the world, and where are relationships possible to build. And that's not to say it's easy or it's a slam dunk or there aren't conflicts or hurdles. But within that, are there places on green tech, on energy and mining, on agriculture, and looking at other cultural ties, given the size of the Indian diaspora in Canada, where there's an opportunity to, again, look at shared values and common opportunities.
So here is an opportunity, and we need to understand what is indeed harming this relationship. Can we move forward? Think of ways to expand and develop new ways of collaboration, cooperation. The first step was done. Now we need to carry on this process with further an invigorated schedule of activities, both in India and in Canada, and bring in key stakeholders, especially decision makers, to explain to them what is achievable and how to proceed in the years ahead.
India-Canada relationship is both a historically important one, but also often an underperforming one. There's different reasons for that, but we can think of an economic stream, a cultural stream, a political stream, a security stream, and increasingly a technology stream. And what I like about this dialogue is that these streams have been brought together to make some constructive comment and thought, to bring a relationship that's reached a bit of a shoal onto a track that brings us back to the promise that the Founding Fathers had.
This dialogue is part of a series of initiatives on Canada-India relations involving high-level stakeholders in both countries. For more information, please visit APF Canada's website and social media platforms like LinkedIn and Instagram.